Hi there, my name is Amy LeBlanc. I am a writer from Calgary, Alberta, and I just recently published my debut poetry collection, I Know Something You Don't Know, with Gordon Hill Press. Sadly, I had to cancel launch parties and tour opportunities that I had planned. My heart goes out to everybody that had to make those hard decisions. It's the right thing to do, but it doesn't make it any easier. So I am going to read 4 poems from the collection. I have my friendly cat here to keep me company. So the first poem that I'm going to read is called The Storied Life of Grace Poole. She dangled striated scarves from the window, rattling her head as I held her waist. He told me to keep her quiet, to keep her safe, compliant, this significant paranoia that she might be vaulting, purging, dancing like red fiber from rafters. She tells me my hair reminds her of a fox. My brush is a signal to enemy lines, her lips parting on a stolen glass of honey-soaked wine. She and I watch the tree as it splits and succumbs in the orchard, a slit where the tree was licked with a voltage-charged tongue. She says that it will never be the same again. We are both behind the lock and chain, but I can abscond to the halls and gates. She lingers behind the latch, her fingers entwined in a lock of my red hair. We are curious bedfellows, with sweetness on our thighs, the topographical curving of bones and banks. She is hers, and I am mine. I will never ask for more than the chill of her hands that cool me until I drown. She won't jump with someone to hush the light. The next poem I'll read is quite a short one. It's called The Girl Who Turns to Bone. In her second skeleton, her new bones fuse to the old. She's developed a tolerance for cramping in her shoes and lumps of sugar in her tea and capaciousness in her chest. When she spills through her ribs, she mops herself up and births a second sternum. When she bites down on a fork, she fastens a leftover mandible to her chin. When she lights her spiced candle from the space between her hips, she stitches a third bone with bits of wire and hair to the underside of her mattress. Like clotted cream, she thickens through cartilage and persiflage until she turns to stone. The next poem that I'll read is a little bit longer. It's a long poem called Hair and Elegy. You cut my hair with shears and used the strands to thread socks for the lingering months of winter. I ran over a rabbit the next day. She laid low beneath my tires, her evening gloves stretched up to her shoulders, her tendons and bones split like porcelain. Her fur was matted like mine, with dirt up the back of her spine. She bled in the shape of a drowning thing. I sat by the window while the bees in our yard pulled petals from flowers to make perfumed wallpaper. The threads on my scalp are like feathers in a bassinet. I push strands down the drain and the cracks of the wall, down the back of the couch, with braided crusts and breadcrumbs. Without this fibril curtain, there is nothing left to cut, and lividity cannot be discerned. You told me my hair was strong, which meant that I could grow a body inside of my own. You held a match to my hair to see how brightly I would glow. My mother said it's impolite to die in a clean house. I could imagine the shape of a body sleeping on the kitchen tile, hair splayed around her face, with freshly burnt coffee beans grinding the floor below. The floors had just been washed. Her hair would smell like soap. I brushed my hair with the prongs of a fork, not antlers or teeth, but they bit and they tore the hair from my skin. The candles were lit with the flames in my ribs. There is fleece from my underarms and lint between my legs. Strings of floss fall down my neck. The wick relents in a prescribed burn. The bees flock to my hair full of salt and honey. I place my black strands on their hive. We are the same, them and I. We seek our mothers to share tales of births and droughts. I told the bees first in their small petal hives. Leave me not in my distress, I said. I'll burn to stay alive. Protein, keratin, Dead cells anchor each day into the next. I don't have whiskers to tell me when to run. I have this nest in my head, the flickering light of oxidation against my headrest. Hold a candle to the ends, bleach me when you're done. Seal me with wax, dry me with honey. The smell of wet wool and the third week of winter seep into my pores. You sweep the ends into a pile the size of a fist. The strands are specimens, placed in a jar and drenched in chemicals and cups of coffee. The conservatory fills with vines and grapes, clinging on their lines of thread sewed together with hair. They grow from my head, seed to my skin, pollinating and seething, trying to break free from the killing jar. You teach me how to pollinate when I glow and I grow, but I would slit my hair with an axe before you got close. And then the very last poem that I will read is called Dear Emily, and it is a love letter to Emily Bronte. Dear Emily, we share fingers mixed with sourdough from 6 years' blood in our glass house. The apiary is not far off. Your matted hands and knotted fur can take us there, across the winds and through the moors. Emily, you caught a chill when he died. You broke the spell by whittling his coat. He made you a pen from bitters and cloves for drawing tonsils by the picture window. You see sights and smells and smoke and bluebells. Emily, you overheat, and so do I, the feverish concubines infecting our nests, a pollen basket between the two of us. We slide our hands over combs and brushes, but you cannot get the scent of chalk to leave you tonight. Dear Emily, your cheeks blossom, gray and red, in time with the marginal toll of the bell. You lift your rib cage on runny legs, feed the dogs, and close your eyes. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate the time that you've taken to listen to my poems. There is information on where to purchase a copy in the information below this video. I hope everyone is keeping healthy and safe. Thank you again. Bye.